Brian Fritz at the Be a Star rally here in Orlando. Several NXT superstars out here to speak with the students today. One of them, NXT superstar Sami Zayn, who joins me for a few minutes right now.
Thank you very much.
You got a nice reaction out here from the students today.
Yeah, they were very welcoming. They were very warm. I think they're pretty excited to have us here, and honestly, I think we were equally excited to be here. I very much believe in this Be a Star sort of cause, and anytime I get an opportunity to talk to a room full of kids, I'm thrilled. I love that sort of stuff.
I was going to say, I think you ate it up more than anybody else that was out here.
Maybe, yeah. It's really a fun thing for me to do. And even though this is my first Be a Star rally, I've spoken in the past to kids with elementary schools and stuff like that. And it's really just something I adore. I really do, because you know, they're very attentive, and they you know, you have an opportunity to reach someone who's listening to hear something you have to say, you know what I mean? So you have an opportunity, especially with Be a Star, with such a positive message, to sort of spread a message of positivity and compassion and understanding and respect. And, you know, these are awesome sort of lessons to teach anybody, including ourselves. We need to be reminded of this all the time, you know what I mean? But if you could kind of instill that in a kid or two, you're just making the world a little bit of a better place. So it's absolutely something I want to be a part of, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And the students are so receptive to it as well, to be able to get the opportunity to come out here and meet some superstars, but also hear the message that you have. And I think that a lot of it really gets through to them, and you can see in the way that they interact with you as well.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I hope, you know, they soak as much of that as possible in. Some of them were kind of young. Like, the age group was somewhere between 5 and maybe 12 years old. So, I mean, I can't speak for the other guys, but myself as a speaker, when I'm up there, I kind of do wonder, like, man, I hope this is getting through to some of them, because, you know, I know they're a little young, and these are pretty heavy concepts sometimes, you know, like, just, they're heavy, but they're also quite simple. I mean, everybody understands what it's like to be belittled. I mean, unfortunately, as humans, we're exposed to that at a very early age, you know. Everyone understands that feeling, so I think that's pretty universal all across the board. So hopefully, you know, they get it, but I guess from an insecure sort of perspective, when I'm speaking up there, I kind of wonder, like, man, are they getting this? I hope they are. I really do. And, you know, I hope they do. I hope they take it away.
You talk about being happy. And how happy have you been now since you've been with WWE and NXT for about the last 2 years, following about a 10-year career even prior to that?
Yeah, it's been amazing in a lot of different ways. You know, if I'm being completely honest, it was just a major lifestyle change more than anything. You know, I wasn't used to the corporate structure of the WWE, working, you know, for one particular boss, who, you know, and stuff like that. So that was kind of new to me. But obviously, this has been my dream from the get-go. You know what I mean? Everybody, you would think, virtually every aspiring wrestler wants to one day end up in the WWE. The path that I happened to take, which was sort of a world-traveled sort of thing, it was very deliberate, and it was always sort of my dream as well, because the guys that I idolized and the guys that I looked up to, that's how they did it. You know, a lot of them were Canadian, you know, your Bret Harts and your Chris Jerichos, or, you know, like Eddie Guerrero, who's not Canadian, but these sort of world-traveled guys who could kind of go anywhere in the world, learn that style, and excel, and eventually end their careers in the WWE. Like, that's the payoff to becoming a well-versed, well-rounded professional wrestler. So that was very much an important part. And, you know, from a life perspective, not a performance perspective, but just as a human, I love the idea of traveling the world and getting paid to do it, doing the thing I love the most in the world. So it's been an amazing journey, and now this is a whole new journey. It really, really is, and it's been awesome so far. You know, I literally got back from, I don't know when this is going to play, but I just got back from Japan. I got to go back to Japan, did 3 days out there, and man, I missed that, you know, and was a part of the WWE. I've been to already 4 new countries in the last year that I've been here. So, I mean, it's still opening up a whole new world of stuff to me, and I'm loving the ride.
Yeah, I was going to mention that about Japan, but it's funny that when people talk about the next people that are going to be brought up from NXT to WWE, your name always comes up. What's that like to hear that, and how far away do you think you are?
I try not to think too much about that, because it's a double-edged sword. Some people can become frustrated with that, like, God, I'm so close, just get me on there, you know. But, like, you know, while elements of that do exist, and certainly I think you kind of need to be aware of that, because it gives you that little sort of chip on your shoulder, like you got something to prove, which I sort of do. You know, I think everybody who strives for excellence or whatever has that a little bit. But ultimately, I'm of the mindset that wherever I am at any given time, you know, whatever promotion I'm working for or have worked for in the past, I've always had this sort of feeling that wherever I am, I want to contribute to that and make it better. I want it to be relevant because of something I'm doing there. So, you know, being in NXT, I'm fully invested in being in NXT, and I want to make NXT like must watch. Hey, have you seen this? This is awesome. You know, these matches are awesome. I have to watch this. I very much believe in just anything I'm a part of, I want to give 100% to, and I want to make it better, and I want to make it relevant, you know, and I'm tackling that full on. And once I'm a part of, you know, on Raw and whatever else, I want to be as relevant as possible on that, and I want to tackle that full on. So I kind of take things a bit more day by day, you know, and it's been good to me. So that's kind of the route I stick with.
When it comes to watching NXT, obviously a couple of live specials, including Arrival back in May on the WWE Network. You had the fantastic match with Cesaro on that show. What was it like for you on that stage? Because it was such an important broadcast, the first live broadcast on the WWE Network, and then you and Cesaro go out there and you deliver the goods.
Well, there's a lot of ways I could answer this, but actually that Arrival match, there was more pressure than I even realized. Like, the day of Arrival when we were there, we were getting it from all these different angles, like, hey, go out and have fun, you know, there's a big night, but really don't screw up because this is huge, you know, like executive type people kind of telling us, like, this is kind of a huge deal, and you're the first match, and you're the first match for a reason, we're expecting a lot, and yada, yada, yada.
Orange County Mayor sitting right there in the first row.
Yeah, but, you know, the truth is, like, there are all these factors, but at the end of the day, once you kind of come out, you're kind of just wrestling, you know, you're kind of just doing what you've done for the last... Once something just happens, there's a transformation. Once you're there, you're just in your ring where you work. That's where you work. That's where I've worked for 12 years, you know. But it was awesome. And it's one of my, you know, favorite matches. It's a match I'm very proud of. And because of all that pressure and because of being able to rise to the occasion, which, you know, probably 12 years of work up until that point probably helped contribute to that ability to knock it out of the park when the time comes. Sort of an opportunity meets preparation sort of thing, right? But to be able to do that, especially with Cesaro, who's one of my all-time greatest opponents, and on a special that was so important to the WWE, you know, obviously something I'm very proud of. And I look forward to more of these sort of opportunities, these do-or-die opportunities, because when they come, I usually do. Not usually, like, I kind of have to do, otherwise, you know, I don't, and then I die. It's do or die, and the fact that I'm still here is a testament to my ability to do.
And after the match, we saw on video later that Triple H talked to you, pulled you aside, congratulated you. I think he's got a man crush on you.
No, don't go that far.
But I mean, what was it like to hear that instant feedback from the guy that, you know, helped you know, put together NXT and is so important to the developmental system in WWE?
It was awesome, but if I'm being honest, again, actually the first time that I got that kind of feedback from Triple H was actually the 2 out of 3 falls match, which had been almost a year prior to that, maybe 9 months prior to that Arrival match. So we had this match that now has gotten a lot of, you know, talk and buzz or whatever it is. And as I was in the ring, I had lost. And the crowd was like just going nuts. They were going, like, giving us the standing ovation, which was so cool. And as I was on my back, out of the corner of my eye, I kind of saw they were replaying some of the highlights of the match. And the crowd, with each replay, started getting louder and louder to the point by the time they were replaying the finish, it was like another standing ovation. So it was actually one of the most incredible moments in my career to just lay flat on my back and just hear them continually getting louder way after the match, right? And they started chanting, like, match of the year, match of the year. And and I haven't told anybody this on camera or anything like this, so this is the first time I'm telling this story, but I really didn't know how that reaction was going to go over. Because, you know, I at this point I was still fairly new to the WWE system, and I didn't know if I had overextended myself, if we had gone out and done maybe more than they had wanted. I don't know, you know, I really didn't know. And then we came back, and I had no idea what to expect. I really didn't. I thought I'd get chewed out even. Like, what the hell are you doing out there? I really didn't know. And I got back, and Triple H was the first one to pull us aside. And he said, that was awesome. He's like, and he gave us a very candid speech, which I won't go too much into detail of, but basically, that was the first time I got insight into his mind and the way his mind works. And I was so happy because I was like, yes, this guy gets it. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be I have my vision and the office has their vision. It was this guy likes good stuff, and he appreciates good stuff. And it was just an amazing experience, an amazing thing to get validated by a guy who not only is your boss, but is one of the most accomplished and greatest professional wrestlers and WWE superstars of all time. Yeah. So it was a really cool. It's cool to have him on your good side for sure. Be on his good side. It's really cool.
Last couple of things. A lot of people got to know your work from Ring of Honor, El Generico. What's it like now to keep?
That's not me. I don't know why.
Well, a lot of people think you're El Generico.
Yeah, I get
but when you come out, I hear a lot of OA chants. Are you surprised it's still happening? Or it's happening at all?
It's no, it's really cool actually. I appreciate that. I don't look. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I don't know why people think I'm El Generico, or I was El Generico, whatever it is. But I mean, the fact that they chant Olay at me. For whatever reason, after all these years, and to me, it's really touching in a way because it's sort of like I don't know, it's almost like a tribute to a former life that may have existed. Sure. That's not El Generico because I'm not El Generico, but I really appreciate that sort of respect that they give to all the work that went in before I got here. You know what I mean?
But you are a lookalike for Seth Rogan.
I get that as well. I have repeatedly said I don't see it, but I get it a lot.
We see it.
I mean, I don't.
You're the slimmed down athletic version of Seth Rogan.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I have nothing on this one. All I can say is I get it a lot, but I don't.
Now, if you could get his paycheck,
that'd be a nice little bonus.
Yeah.
Maybe one day when, if I ever reach a certain level of prominence, me and Seth could sit down and be like, dude, do you get this all the time? Because I can't go anywhere without people thinking I'm you. So it'd be nice to converse with them one day about that sort of thing. But I don't see it.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up on this. WWE just announced KENTA has been signed to the company. What's it like for KENTA to come over here? And he's going to be training with you in the near future at the Performance Center.
I'm very excited. There's a lot of good talent coming in. A lot of my kind of guys, world traveled, work rate, nose to the grindstone, gritty, sort of passionate guys, which is what I personally believe in, So it's great to see these guys getting an opportunity, and KENTA's just been busting his butt for so long and killing it for so long. It's great to see him get an opportunity like this. I'm really looking forward to even hopefully wrestling him because I actually never have. I was supposed to wrestle him once, but he went down with a knee injury, and I've teamed with him a couple times, but I've never actually had a one-on-one with him. So I look forward to hopefully having that opportunity.
The rumor is that there could be another live special on the WWE Network before the end of the year in a couple of months.
That'd be great, yeah. That'd be great. And hopefully, some of the talent that I hear might be coming in, and Ken is one of those talents. It's now been confirmed. If we can get those kind of guys on a live special and before the year's end, I think that'd be awesome. These live specials are awesome for us as talent, but I think the fans get really, really excited about them. And so far, I've just enjoyed the hell out of them. So hopefully we do have a couple more on the horizon.
Sami, thanks again for the time. We really appreciate you talking to me for a few minutes. Thanks again. Keep up the great work.